I didn't think I would ever make a video like this one, nor would I ever want to share it, but I promised when I began this YouTube channel that I would be authentic and honest throughout the entire process. No matter how hard it may be to be upfront with your feelings sometimes, I was going to be 100% myself. And truthfully, this past year has been the most difficult in my art journey, with a lot more downs than ups and a lot of doubt about the direction and the success of my business. Truthfully, I wanted to give up on art this year, many times. And even me just saying this now, it breaks my heart, but it is the truth. I wanted to give up on art. There was a lot of doubt about myself as an artist, as a teacher, and feeling as though I was burnt out and, quite frankly, uninspired. I thought I was done and ready to hang up the apron, but I couldn't help but ask myself, why? I have tried to understand these feelings and why they started in the first place. Like, what was the cause? And maybe this is just a natural cycle in an artist's life. Maybe I'm thinking too much about this. Maybe this is supposed to happen. We have those ups and downs creatively already, so it would be no surprise to me that we go through stages like this one too. But truthfully, up until now, my art journey had been smooth sailing for me. It was as though I had everything figured out until, well, I didn't. I know I cannot be the only one struggling through this right now, and that is the purpose behind today's video. If my struggles, uncertainty, and let's be real, sometimes sadness can help encourage another artist to continue pursuing their passion, knowing they are not alone in these feelings, then this year and these struggles will all have been worth it for me. I want to dive into my feelings today and talk about why I have been feeling this way and the things I think that may be causing it, and maybe you, by watching this, will realize that you've been feeling this way too, and hopefully you'll find it helpful. When I dive into the depths of my feelings and this major art block that I've been having, the first thing that comes to mind is comparison. Now, what do I mean by that? Comparison for me in this instance is comparing myself to other artists and their success in both their content and their art careers. In the age of social media, we are constantly shown all of these incredible moments in people's lives. And before I go any further with this topic, a quick disclaimer: don't get me wrong, I am so happy to see artists getting that bag, making that money, and being successful, whatever that means for them. If anything, it is proof that in this industry, anything is possible and it happens to anyone at any time. It has nothing to do with anyone else, their success, their social media posts, but ourselves. Being in your own head about your own work, your own worth, it can be very difficult to separate your journey from someone else's. I realized that I personally was focusing on all of the wrong things. Absolutely all of it was wrong. I was too focused on other people and what they were doing that I neglected myself, my feelings, and my own path. What works for other people might not work for you, and this was my case. And as creatives and creators, we need to carve our own path rather than emulate someone else's. Find that thing that makes you unique and makes you happy above all else, and pursue it. I was seeing all of these amazing things happening to wonderful people and wanting them so badly to happen to me too, not realizing that I was not being myself. I was not being the authentic cassydraws that I want to be. I was changing my plans, I was changing my art style, and my content to fit a mold that just wasn't mine. I think it also needs to be said, as I'm talking here, this just popped into my mind, and I am guilty of this as well, that social media typically only shows us the positive, the exciting, the success. We often don't think about all of the struggles behind the scenes, the hard work, the effort, and the failures that a lot of artists endure but don't post about or share. For every one success that we have, there's probably 10 failures that we don't see. In today's social media age, we just don't share them. And I think this needs to be talked about way more. And this is a video for another day, but it just came up in my mind, just like we airbrush a photo and everything is filtered, social media posts can kind of be the exact same in that way. We see the good and only the good. And when we, as ourselves, are looking through sad, discouraged lenses, like I was and sometimes am, I'm working on it, about ourselves, it can absolutely impact your overall well-being and the well-being of your art and your business. And this is definitely where I was struggling and some days still do. Now, speaking of social media, this is another huge factor behind my art block and being discouraged as an artist, and truthfully, something I have always struggled with. As we all know, social media is one of the most difficult things to manage and create content for, and with an algorithm that seems to change every day or platforms entirely, it can be really difficult to find that cozy home online where you feel comfortable and at home posting on, but also knowing what content to post and how frequently. I currently use Instagram and now Patreon as my social media platforms of choice, and of course, my favorite here on YouTube. And I truthfully think part of my problem this year was that I bit off more than I could chew by having almost every single social media platform that I could and trying to be consistent on all of them. X, DeviantArt, Facebook, Ko-fi, the list goes on. And in hindsight, I was burning myself out trying to develop consistent content for each platform, not to mention different types of content now that is required of us, like reels with video, photo posts, 5 stories a week, you name it, your girl was trying to do it. I was turning into a content machine. I was no longer an artist. I was just pumping out content. And my goal was to post on social media, regardless of what I was putting out, consistently and no matter what. Oh, Cassie, you're sick today? Doesn't matter. Post on social media. And now you hear strategies all the time of, well, that's how you grow on social media, is to be consistent, your content, frequent posts, and all of these other, tips and tricks for growth on socials. But I was becoming unhappy and feeling manufactured. That's the best word I can use to describe my feelings, is I was manufacturing content. I lost the charm that I began posting with. I began dreading recording every step of my process or everything in my studio life. Oh, I gotta stop. I gotta record this. Rather than just being in the moment, I was too busy trying to follow trends and really keep up. And let me tell you, it changes every single day. It's actually overwhelming. It changes every day. And I stopped being creative and myself and happy. The enjoyment was completely sucked out of it for me. And now I am I am not a social media expert by any means, but what I do know is it really does affect us more creatively than we think and that we know sometimes. And that is truthfully where it led me, is to this gigantic art block, being unhappy and just feeling stagnant. I really had to tell myself, and I still do, that I want organic growth, a community of people following me for my art, my style, and the life that I choose to share on my social media platforms genuinely. They found my post somehow, whether it was through a mutual friend or on the Explore feed, and they decided, hey, this girl's pretty cool, let's follow her. I became tired of trying to appease an algorithm that was forever changing, and one that I truly believe is based on a lot of luck, and pivot to something that makes me happy and my community too. Posting whatever I want, whenever I want, and limiting myself to doom scrolling, as I say, or posting too frequently, becoming obsessed about content. I would love to hear your thoughts on this and what social media platforms you use. Do you find social media difficult to use? Does it help or hinder you creatively? Let me know in the comments, and I would love to dive further into this later on in another video. I could go on, but just keep in mind that social media does affect us creatively, and this was a huge thing for me, and I hope this is a little gentle nudge for you to do what you want to do. Be passionate and just live your life socially online on social media your way. I think a huge factor for me was also being afraid to experiment as an artist, especially being a full-time artist that makes their living from creating artwork, and a very specific type of artwork at that. If you've been to my channel before or you've seen my work online, I pretty much exclusively paint wildlife. So I have been terrified to create new things that may differ from what I usually paint or create, whether it be a tutorial or an art piece for sale, or I've actually started designing some stickers and merch. I was worried that it wouldn't resonate with my audience and community. I would honestly keep myself from creating it or recording the process because and I'm doing air quotes, it isn't what I usually make. But what I wasn't realizing was that I was blocking that creative process and really the growth within myself that I was trying to achieve and what I've always hoped for. Something new is exciting. It refreshes yourself and re-energizes that creative energy. It has an effect on everything that you make. The happier you are, the better your creations. And sometimes you just need something different to cleanse your palette. And let me tell you too, you are allowed to create artwork and not share it either. Keep some art to yourself, for you and your enjoyment only. Experiment, try new things, and not everything has to be posted online or shared. So after all of this, the comparison, the art block, the struggles with social media and experimentation as an artist, how do I move forward? And that is something that I have been asking myself. And to be honest, I don't think we will ever have the perfect answer for something like this. All I know is that I do not want to quit creating, and I cannot imagine doing anything else but this. So I need to refocus. I need to rethink my art career and the direction that I am taking it and what I truly want for myself and for the community. If I want to make a studio vlog with a little bit of humor and personality in it, make one. If I want to create a huge step-by-step tutorial teaching you how to paint something, do it. Maybe I'll enter in an art show. Maybe I don't get in, and that's okay. Maybe I put my name out there for a solo exhibition in some grand gallery somewhere. Maybe I get in. Best case scenario, get it, girl. I am tired of having these limitations in my mind and being afraid of failure. Worrying about whether a video will be a success or if people are even going to be able to find it because of social media algorithms. Someone will, and when they do, maybe it'll help them in their own art journey, just like this video. Being true to myself and creating what I enjoy. Life is too short and I need to go for it. This painting I am looking at as a fresh start to a new chapter in my life, we'll call it. Whenever I am feeling sad, doubtful, or I sense a change is needed, I seem to paint a tiger. I have no idea why, but it seems to be so consistent for me. I will paint a tiger. I began this YouTube channel with a video of a tiger named Hope that is dedicated to family members diagnosed with cancer and was painted during a very difficult time in my life. And I felt it was fitting that I create a new tiger, something to help me move on from this really negative way of thinking. I wanted it to resemble something familiar, but have elements of being different, challenging, the lighting, the position of the face, the attention to detail. I wanted it to be grand and eye-catching, something that I'm hoping comes across in this video and in real life. I'm realizing that I move forward by letting go, being happy with what I am doing and grateful that I am able to do what I love. It is because of you that I am able and have grown such an incredible community here on YouTube and on Twitch, a family of artists supporting one another or art lovers alike. And truly, whatever happens, wherever this channel leads or wherever my art may go, I have met the most amazing people through this experience, and that in itself is worth its weight in gold. Now, I would love to turn this question over to you. I've been asking a couple questions, but this is important. Do you feel the same way? Have you had moments in your life as an artist where you found yourself comparing yourself to someone else? Doubtful in your own work? How did you recover, or how do you plan to make a change like I am for your next chapter? It is definitely not easy, as we know, and truth be told, it is probably going to be a roller coaster for the next while, but I would love for us to achieve this goal together. Let me know in the comments below, and let's start a conversation about artist burnout and self-doubt. Half the battle is getting it out there and truly just being honest with yourself. It's okay to be doubtful. It is okay to not like your work or be unsure of the direction that you are going. It is natural to compare yourself to other people. It's human, whether we like it or not. And at times, sometimes you may feel a little envy, and that's okay too. We're human. I think sometimes we're all just a little lost and we need a helping hand. And I hope this has been helpful for you. If you enjoyed watching today's video and found it helpful, I would love if you could leave a like and a comment down below, letting me know. Your feedback is always so greatly appreciated, and of course, hitting that subscribe button to join our family for more art content. Now, if you're looking for art exclusives like ad-free art lessons and other goodies, consider joining our Patreon family. This month, I launched my Patreon program where I will feature all of my ad-free art lessons, perks like behind the scenes, and monthly prints. So if you're interested and want more exclusives, you can go ahead and check out patreon.com/cassydraws, or you can check out the link in the description. Of course, a big shout out to our Patreon members already this month. Thank you so much for joining. And of course, a huge thank you to our channel sponsors Chartpack, Grumbacker, and Molotov for sponsoring today's video and my content here on YouTube. Their links can be found in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.